Yo, bada bing, friends and family, and anyone else who might stumble across this vlog. I am here in Mae, Thailand, trying to beat the heat today. I thought I would answer some of the questions I received on Facebook for this week's blog. It's actually a vlog. So I'll just get right into it. Two people have asked, what's the worst food you had to eat so far? That question comes from my good friend Jonelle Parker back at church. Hello, Jonelle. And my former mission host when I was in Bolivia, Finnica Jansen. Well, for Finnica, I think she knows the answer. The worst thing that I've actually tasted that I just couldn't keep down was this black potato that was native to Bolivia. I couldn't pronounce it, but that was just, oh boy, that's rough. But altogether, probably the most challenging experience I had was actually just last night, February 7th. We were in this small remote village in Thailand, and these people invited us to dinner. And then someone else invited us to dinner. And then someone else invited us to dinner. I essentially ate 4 meals. I could barely walk. Thailand, it's kind of rude if you don't finish what's on your plate. So needless to say, I was in a little bit of pain. I had 4 giant plates of rice, and rice is the one thing I've had a lot of on the race that I don't think I'm gonna miss when I get back. So next question is from RJ Taylor. Who is your favorite male squad member from Tennessee? This is kind of a pointed question. There are only 5 males on my squad, and he's the only one of them from Tennessee, so obviously he is. That's a cheap question. Karen Conroy, my friend Cody's mother, hello Miss Conroy, asks, what was your favorite place to visit and why? That's got to be a 3-way tie, I think, between El Campo, Argentina. I spent a weekend there just enjoying the pretty sunsets, enjoying the weather, drinking mate. It was beautiful, great people, great food. Then last night, in the remote villages here in Thailand, that was just a wonderful experience. We got to camp out under the stars. That was absolutely wonderful. And then when I went to Lake Titicaca on the Peruvian border, got to see the floating Uros Islands, and I see how the Incan civilizations lived hundreds of years ago. All of these things combined, those are what you think of when you think of the world race when you're applying for it. So that's pretty cool. Then, next question, my old impact partner, Lacey Ulick, hello Lacey, says, what is the most challenging thing you've done so far? Physically, it would be the diet I have here. We went from South America to Southeast Asia, and that's a pretty significant change in diet. And I'm a red meat and potatoes kind of guy. Now I'm a noodles, rice, and vegetable kind of guy. So that's pretty tough. But maybe the one thing worse than that was the altitude in La Paz, Bolivia. We were at 13,500 feet for a month. That was challenging. I had altitude sickness for 2 days. Had a migraine headache that was so bad I couldn't see. So that sucked. Next question. My old superintendent, Kent Lefevre, and I'm willing to bet it might be Mrs. Lefevre, asking the question on his account, says, who has received the greater blessing, you or the people you have served? And it is okay to answer that it has been equal. That's actually a very good question. As world racers, oftentimes we're just planting the seeds. We're telling people about the gospel for the first time. Whether they're receptive to it or not, that's up to the Holy Spirit and how He chooses to reveal themselves to them. So my point in saying all that is we don't always have the luxury of getting to follow up with people. So it's kind of hard to gauge how much of a blessing we've been to the strangers we interact with. To the mission hosts, they tell us we're a great blessing because we can help them out and we can pour life into them and affirm them, which is great. But that's an interesting question. I can speak for the blessings I've received. They have been immense. I feel like I am a completely different man than the one who started this journey. The Lord has revealed himself to me in so many ways. I'm trusting him more. I have faith in what he has for my future. And I'm about a couple months ago, I think for the first time in my life, I started believing who he says I am, rather than what others say I am or how lowly I think of myself. And that has just opened so many doors to me. And so I've been very blessed. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. I guess the safe answer would be equal. All right. And then lastly, Miss McBride, Lisa Dawn McBride. Hello, Miss McBride says, can you tell us about schools? Would love to share with my first graders. Yeah. We taught English in Chile and Cambodia. Chile, we only did it for about 2 days, so there's not a lot there. But Cambodia is interesting. For one, the children are using outdated English textbooks. They're using textbooks from like the early 2000s, and a lot in the language has actually changed. I had to give a lecture essentially about grunts, where, you know, people say, uh-huh, uh-uh, mm-hmm. And I gave the lecture, but then I told them, hey, this really isn't proper English. Use actual words. So that was one neat experience. In Cambodia, the culture is a culture of great respect. And they think it is respectful to the teacher to yell the answer as loud and as enthusiastically as possible, which flattering for about a minute, then you just have this splitting headache that's, whew, that's tough. But school is much shorter elsewhere in the world. In Cambodia, they did an hour of class, 20-minute break, an hour of class, 20-minute break, an hour of class, 20-minute break. And then they went home. 4 hours of school for the whole day. But the teachers are there full time. They teach one whole session of school in the morning to one group of kids. Those kids have the rest of the day off. And then the kids who come after lunch, who had the morning off, they stay for 4 hours. So it's pretty interesting. We taught with a lot of first graders, actually, so it's an appropriate question. They always have big smiles on their faces, and everywhere we go, any country, any school, we Americans are celebrities. So they're great kids, and I don't know, childlike innocence is, I guess, a universal concept. At least I think so. Hope that answers all your questions. We're running at about 8 minutes here, which means it's going to take forever to upload on YouTube and Facebook, but hope I answered your questions. Keep them coming. I'll do this again if y'all like. So God bless.